introducing our next speaker.
Thank you, Karen. I'm Tim Duane, and I teach energy and environmental law and policy here. I've only been at Santa Cruz for 4 years after 18 years at Berkeley. And one of the reasons I came is because of the community. We have an incredible community of alumni, students, faculty, staff, and we have honorary community members. Here are a couple of them right here. But the one that we're going to introduce now is John Laird. John graduated from Stevenson College in politics in 1972 and has had a very distinguished career since then, serving the community and ultimately serving the environment. He served as a city council member and mayor of Santa Cruz, as an assemblyman from this region for 8 years. That's where I first met him on some environmental issues. And now he is the Secretary of Natural Resources for the state of California. And he also has taught one class here in the Environmental Studies Department. So even though his degree is technically from politics, we view him as one of our own. Please welcome John Laird.
Thank you very much. And I went to UCSC in such Jurassic times that there wasn't really an environmental studies program, or maybe I would have graduated from it. It is an honor to share just one of the great times in your life with you today. And I know that traditionally somebody that's older is supposed to look back and impart great wisdom. And at least I would tell you, be sure to use lots of sunblock. Despite the fact that you're really young now and you think you'll never get older, you should start saving for retirement soon. Your parents and grandparents won't be here forever, so interview them about your family's history now while you can. And when I and somebody cheered when I did that once at a commencement speech, and I realized I was sitting in front of the history faculty. And then also, nobody ever told me to balance things in life, to not just work, to make sure you travel, enjoy friends, take time for yourself, and make sure you do that because it will make life much better. But there are circles of life going on here today, and there are probably two questions that are facing the crowd right now. The students are asking, how can I get a job that's meaningful, that makes change, that makes them happy, that uses what they learned to change the world? And the parents are just asking, will they just get a job? And as someone who taught a capstone class here, as Tim mentioned, in environmental studies, I did it in state environmental policy, and within months, I was leading the state environmental policy as Secretary of Natural Resources, so there is a link between the program and employability. But more importantly, when I was a student, I did an undergraduate thesis on the history of water development in California. And I thought at the time, since water policy was driven by the Central Valley agricultural interest in urban Southern California, that somebody that was a UCSC grad, had an environmental bent, was really a coastie, would not have much of an impact on state water policy. And now I am driving it and in the leadership position on it. That is something you can do if you focus and you think you can do it. But more important, it's not just driving the policy, it's changing the policy. Because for the first time, we are trying to link water exports to biological objectives and habitat restoration so that you can't do one without another. And that will make it sustainable. That will be something that hopefully you can inherit in the next generation of water policy and feel like it's in a better place than it was when you got there. And that embodies the challenges that are facing the graduates today. The job market you're about to enter, of course, is probably causing you great anxiety, and there is uncertainty. But you'll probably have a career that spans 40 years, so you shouldn't get overly concerned. The important thing is to continue to develop your skills and navigate the world and have enough confidence that you do it. But I am clearly more near the end of my career than the beginning. And when that happens, and you're young and indestructible, you're not quite there yet, but you will be in the same place at some point, and you have to ask yourself if you left the world in a better place then you found it. And in asking myself that question as an individual, I feel I can answer it well, whether it was establishing the landmark Sierra Nevada Conservancy or authoring civil rights bills that have been the basis of Supreme Court decisions, or being the point person on major water conservation programs across the state, or even doing what I'm doing in many ways as Resources Secretary right now. And the results are very mixed for my generation. Yes, some things are great. When I came of age, African Americans couldn't vote in many places in the United States, and I have lived long enough to see an African American elected president. When I graduated from UCSC, a woman had never served in the state Senate, ever, in the history of the state. And the only women to serve in the United States Senate were people that succeeded their husbands. Well, that's totally different now, and while we still have a ways to go, there's been fundamental change. And when I graduated from UCSC, it was against the law to be gay in all 50 states. Well, that has fundamentally changed, and there are real differences. And in natural resources, some things are going right. We're diverting 60% of what went into landfills 25 years ago. We have established the largest network of protected marine areas to bring back fish populations in the world. State forest practices in some places are now modeled on sustainability and use watershed management as part of their goal. And as part of the Delta project I mentioned, we're trying to restore 110,000 acres of habitat. But in natural resources, there's many places where the question is going the other way. Our state park system is hanging by a thread. So is our program to protect ag land from urban development. Climate change affects and challenges endangered species. If projections are right, the snowpack in the Sierra will be half of what it is by the end of the century. And you just look at all these, and these are the challenges that you have to take on individually and collectively, and to dream to be successful where we might not have been. Additionally, the level of civic engagement in the state and the world has dropped precipitously, and Congress is hopelessly gridlocked. When I was preparing to teach here, I was advised by a member of the faculty that my biggest teaching challenge would be to convince the students that you could in fact get something done within the current system. And I think you can. And I think that's what I've been dedicated to, and that's what you should do, because you have a gift. Not just that you attended one of the finest research institutions and centers for undergraduate education in the world, but that you did it in a democracy. You did it where, when it comes to leadership, it's easy to think it's somebody else's job, but it's yours. And it's not an easy job. Many of you just studied natural resources through a scientific lens, and yet that very science is under challenge in the public domain right now. You have to justify and fight for science before you can even get to fighting for the things that that science tells you are what we need to do. And so during your years as an active citizen, you should do that, but you should also remember that higher education is under challenge, whether it's access or fees, and you should use your role as a citizen to stand up for higher education and to advocate for it and make sure it survives into the next century the way it helped me and you and will continue to help thousands of people. And when you look back on your life decades from now, you'll ask whether you've made the world a better place. And you're about to begin the steps to answer that question. And I hope you spend every ounce of effort to do that. But that's your postgraduate assignment and obligation. You still have a lot of time to celebrate and to enjoy the friends, and you'll do that the next few days. So please do that and enjoy the achievement that got you to this place. And so really, on behalf of the people of California, congratulations on your achievement, and we are really counting on you to change the world. So get to it.